It seems like Destiny 2 is finally dying. I have waited so long for this because this game does not deserve to be as popular as it is. And honestly, you saw what you reap, Bungie, by trying to make the new player experience as horrible as possible. As please delete this game as possible. This is what happens. Bungie is probably one of the worst companies ever.
I will say, guys, it is getting a tad bit concerning. A tad. I don't want to come bearing bad news today, but it is getting a little concerning. I won't lie to you. Destiny 2 player count is reaching an all-time low, with players reporting difficulties in finding teams for raids, dungeons, and other activities. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Destiny 2 players struggle to find fire teams as population drops to all-time lows. Zahad here. Destiny 2's player count is reaching an all-time low, with matchmaking becoming increasingly difficult for raids, dungeons, and other activities. Destiny 2, once a shining example of live service gaming, is facing what might be its toughest challenge yet. Bungie's flagship game has seen a steady decline in its player base over the past months. The release of episode Revenant already saw the lowest day one population, and it keeps getting worse due to bugs, glitches, and content. Yeah, I would say bugs is probably a big one, man. The fact that we're having to make quest guides, it's like, hey, here's a guide on how to do the quests. Now here's a guide on how to do the quests if it's bugged. You know, it's wild, man. Players have been vocal about their frustration, with many feeling let down after the hype of the final shape. It's clear that the game's post-expansion episodic content release has failed to live up to expectations for many players. Yeah, what is the numbers at right now, guys? Journalists milking bullshit for content. We're gonna go look at the numbers in just a second. I mean, how low are we talking? When do we get concerned? At what point are we like, okay, this is concerning? It says 18,000 players. Ain't no way, man. Ain't no way. 18,000? That ain't, like, there's no way. 15, bullshit. I'm gonna look in just a second. Ain't no way. Long-standing issues like repetitive gameplay loops and delayed quality of live updates have further eroded player morale. On top of that, the recent layoffs of the company didn't help either. All of this has led to a steep decline in the game's player base. Destiny 2 fans are struggling to find other players with low population. With fewer players logging in, finding fire teams for group activities like raids and dungeons has become a struggle. Matchmaking queues are taking longer than ever, and even tools like the in-game Fireteam Finder and Discord LFG servers aren't helping much. Many posts in LFG now demand experienced players on. Dude, they've been doing that since day one, though. Let's be real. They've been doing that since day one. It also doesn't help that we don't have a vote to kick option. I literally have joined up with people in Fireteam Finder and have been booted for literally no reason. Yeah, but this, of course, shuts out those who are new or unfamiliar with the content. Reddit user Flelius summed up the situation: was trying to do a Garden of Salvation and it took forever to find a team. I had to use a combination of the Discord LFG and the in-game Fireteam Finder just to find a team. And even then, it still took a pretty long time. Oh, brother, dude, I mean, even us. I pull people from the stream. I'm like, hey, y'all want to go run a raid? And look.
This is actually the end, okay? So, the biggest point where a game actually dies is not when the population starts dipping. The true death of a game is when you have problems making groups. When making a group becomes an active chore. That is when the real problems hit. Because that is just an escalation point. That is where well, not all, but the majority of problems converge. So, your population dips to the lowest it has ever been. Beautiful, amazing, 10 out of 10 even, one might say. And then this is what happens. It's becoming harder to make groups. And you know what that leads to? More elitism. Because now, since it's so harder to actually make groups, you actually want to be extra sure that you're clearing whatever the hell you're making a group for. Which means, no new players, your loadout must be meta, and things of that nature. Because no one wants to spend 30 minutes creating a team, and this is an arbitrary number, made it up. 30 minutes looking for a group, starting playing for 20, and then you figure out, wait a minute, this one guy is dragging us down, and now we need to disband. Because when you disband, this is what happens. You kick the guy, and usually a person or two leave, because they're tired. They don't want to sit there for another hour to find someone. So, it's fucked. This is the true death of a game where it requires multiple people to actually be played. And this was to be expected. Exactly as Ats the Cross said, okay? The final shape was a success. Success. It was loved by people, and in that sense, it was a success. People liked the final shape. There were some complaints about reskinned weapons and blah blah blah, all of these things. But all in all, the final shape was great. People loved it. But Destiny already had multiple failed expansions, and the final shape did not sell. We covered this when the final shape was actually hot news, and its numbers for sale, I don't remember them actually, but they were abysmal. That part I do remember. The numbers for the final shape were Bungie is gonna get taken over by Sony, and as we all know, currently Sony is a woke shithole that's gonna destroy anything it touches. So if you thought that the Destiny experience was bad, just wait a second until Sony is in the full leadership position. Okay, when they get they call all the shots, then it's gonna get worse. Okay, then it's gonna get worse. And this is the reality. There is no chance for Destiny. I called it a year ago, because just from statistics, just from sales, just from basic numbers, and especially something I constantly talk about, the new player experience, which is, I'm not kidding, by the way. As I said in the intro of the video, I'm not kidding. It is true. The new player Destiny experience is literally like a constant, please delete this game, it's garbage experience. It doesn't tell you how to do things. Some quests are bugged. You don't understand the power systems. It explains nothing. The story is arbitrary bullshit because half of it is already cut out of the game. Well, more than half of it. And nothing makes sense. You finish the tutorial, and then you go to the weapons vendor to buy something new. What's this? Oh, the weapon vendor is dead. What? When? How? Who? Where? Who's the weapon vendor now? Don't know. What is this system? Don't know. What is this? Don't know. And that's if you get that far. Because most people won't, because it's just bad, okay? You level up, and then it says, "Oh, please add the sparkling orbs wherever you have 10 sparkling orbs. Please use them." And it's like, and people are like, "What the fuck is a sparkling orb? A new system? Exciting!" No. Turns out that's a system that's gonna be unlocked in 20 levels, and you're like 5 hours away from that. Good luck. But now every level you get some kind of thing that you can't even use, and it reminds you that you should use it, but you can't. Destiny 2 has no right to be as successful as this, but it is the only game of this genre. Nothing else stands close. Warframe is technically close, but that's like a 30% conversion rate at the best of days, because it's not the same. Man, someone needs to make something as good as Destiny. And Destiny would die in a second, because it's just not, it's just...
I get it. You shouldn't have to always get people that are experienced. But I got people that come in here, it's like, yeah, I've done Crota's in 13 times, 14 times. Ultra, how many times have you done Crota?
3 or 6 times. 6 times, yeah. 6 times.
My man has said he has done Crota's in 3 or 6 times. Little hesitation there on the 6, but I believe him. And you know, this is what always ends up happening. We get about halfway into the raid or halfway into a mechanic. Suddenly it's like, what do you know? Oh, I did the raid like a year ago. You know, I kind of know the mechanics, don't really know the mechanics. I would say this, you know, and it's hard to get into a fire team when you're brutally honest. But if as long as like I kind of have like an idea of what you are capable of, we go into that thing a lot better. It's like your name's Cluniverse and you say, hey, I've done this raid, but I still don't know what I'm doing. That's great. Clune, I've got you. I'm going to find the perfect job for you. I want you to kill everything and worry about nothing. You know what I mean? All right. The sentiment is echoed by many others who feel that the shrinking community is making the game less enjoyable. This is from the Reddit thread right there. Destiny 2 today had its lowest recorded player count of just 12,379 players on Steam. Whoa, no, there's no way, dude. Was the game offline all day or something? There is no way. 12,000 guys. We're talking like lower than Curse of Osiris. No, man. We're gonna go look at the numbers in just a second. There ain't no way, dude. Denial. I'm in denial. Destiny 2 player numbers are dropping fast according to the data from CBRO. Destiny 2's total hourly active player count during peak hours hovers around 60,000 across all platforms, while it drops to roughly 35,000 to 40,000 during off-peak hours. At the same time of writing,
I'm checking Steam right now. It looks like the average lowest is roughly 13K, and the highest in the past 24 hours is on average 21-ish K. Yup, that is not great, and that's in the past week. And it's a very, very, very steady line of decline. Yep. Well, it's dead. Fuck you guys. Well, what can I say?
Here's the breakdown of hourly active players across all platforms. Oh, wow. So we have the numbers for all platforms. 24,543 on PlayStation. 22,000 on Xbox.
Wow, I just checked the Steam numbers. 11K is not the minimum. 12 was. Actually it was 4, but that's probably some kind of server thing.
Steam is 11,000. No way, dude. There's no way. Steam has always had the most, right? I thought on Steam we always had the most. Epic is whatever, you know. But on Steam, I always thought we had the most players. 877 of these guys are cheaters. Let me just say, I don't know what it is, but you fuckers on Epic are always cheating, all right? I'm just saying. I don't know why Epic Games, but when I play with an Epic gamer, they're epic, all right. Epically fucking cheating. For Steam specifically, Steam database reports that the game is peaking at under 20,000 concurrent players. These figures reflect a significant decline compared to the game's heyday when player counts regularly exceeded 80,000. There are multiple factors of Destiny 2's declining player population. The conclusion to the 10-year saga, persistent bugs and glitches combined with the grind-heavy gameplay. Is it really that grindy, dude? Have left many players.
I think we're also gonna see a small thing with concurrent numbers when it comes to different platforms. Like here, PlayStation, Xbox should be below Steam. Steam is always the place where most players play their games, okay? PlayStation and Xbox typically need to combine to even, you know, kind of claw at the numbers of the PC player base. But I do think that this is bad because typically people who play on PlayStation, Xbox are extremely casual. They don't know about the numbers on this. They don't do raids. They don't do any of the endgame content. Listen, their current endgame content is probably something that was 3 years ago, and now it's so lovable because reasons, and they're still struggling. That most likely is the PlayStation, Xbox player base. So they're casuals. They are the most casual people of them all. And when these numbers exceed the PC player base, you're in deep shit. Because all of the people who really, really care about your game actively are probably gone. Like, you're playing a shooter. Obviously, you're gonna play it on mouse, not PlayStation and Xbox. The only way you're doing that is if you're a casual player, which, by the way, is not necessarily bad at all, by the way. But you get the point.
When player counts regularly exceeded 80,000. There are multiple factors of Destiny 2's declining player population. The conclusion to the 10-year saga, persistent bugs and glitches combined with the grind-heavy gameplay. Is it really that grindy, dude? Have left many players frustrated. I'm okay with the grind, man. When we've been playing Path of Exile now for 2 weeks, dude. I live for the grind. Y'all think Destiny's that grind?
Yeah, PoE is the grind. You live for the grind. That's different.
Grinding? I think here's the issue with grinding in Destiny. You don't want to grind for something and it be like pointless. And that being like the tonic system. You're grinding for a certain weapon and that weapon is not actually dropping. Or you're grinding for a certain weapon roll and that weapon roll is almost impossible to get because of weight gate. That's where like the grind, that's where it's like, all right, then that's bullshit. You know what I mean? But for grinding, for like just grinding, I'm okay with it. I like the grind. I get down with it. Bungie's handling these issues, including repetitive seasonal content, has further alienated the community. Additionally, the release of massive new games like Marvel Rivals, Path of Exile. Dude, you're getting hit on all sides, baby. All sides. You got Path of Exile, which is a PvE player's wet dream. You got Marvel Rivals, which everyone who hated Concord because it was a hero shooter suddenly loves Marvel Rivals. Blows my mind, by the way. But Marvel Rivals is good. I will say it is good, man. But what I'm saying on that though is you've got PvP players and PvE players that just have so many options. Players haven't been shy about sharing their thoughts. One Reddit user said the content is just stale. The formulaic seasonal grind is stale. The events are nothing but tedium distilled. Another user, GTGZA, pointed out that the player base struggles. The player base is at or near all-time lows. Most players don't rate at all. I mean, dude, I haven't rated. I mean, I get my loot at the beginning of when a raid drops, and that's kind of it for me. You know what I mean? Adding to the frustration, Mimi Seishi comment on the unwelcoming nature of LFG posts. I'm a new player, but I don't think most of the people raid. Need someone to teach me. 90% of the posts I see are strictly know what to do or kick. Oh, man. I don't know, man. Like, I definitely wouldn't go into an LFG environment being like, can someone teach me? I would watch a guide, right? Preferably one of our own. Hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and then go into LFG, right? At the same time, I would still take someone on my squad. If you're in my squad and you're like, hey, listen, I haven't done this raid, but I watched a guide on it. Brother, you tell me you watch a Fallout guide, we're good, man. That man has a way of explaining things. Meanwhile, I am the day man highlighted the struggle of finding players in match-made activities. I've been trying to play hardware supremacy today. Oh yeah, dude, that's terrible. I can't find anybody. And never got a full game. Realistically, I don't think the population will ever rebound. We beat the final boss in June. A lot of people left and won't be back. Many in the community agree that unless Bungie makes significant changes soon, the situation will only get worse. Destiny2's declining population is a wake-up call for Bungie. With fewer players, longer matchmaking times, and growing frustrations among the community, it's clear the game needs a major shakeup. Whether the upcoming Codename Frontiers expansions can restore the player base to its former glory remains to be seen. What are your thoughts on Destiny2's current state? Share your opinion in the comments below.
This is also insane because of the Bungie strategy that they applied to do everything after the final shape. Because this was insane. Again, Bungie is one of the most incompetent companies out there. They should be sold for fucking spare parts like goddamn Ubisoft at this point. And soon BioWare. And soon Bethesda. And soon Blizzard. Blizzard hopefully very, very sooner than later. But this was their genius strategy to handling Destiny 2, by the way. They announced the final shape because they needed money. It's the end of the saga. It's the end of everything because they wanted sales. Fucking failed. Now what's happening? Well, you announced that the game has ended. The hell do you want? People to stay and play a game that literally just got, well, kind of killed by the devs because they said the game has ended? And yeah, you can say, but that's not true. There's gonna be episodes and new... Yeah. I hear you, and that is true, my friend. You are actually right. But you need to understand that most people don't care. The devs literally did this grand shabazzle about, it's the final boss, it's the end of Destiny, come see how it's gonna be. And after that, how do you retain players? Because effectively you said, yeah, the game's dead after this because there's nothing left. Have fun. Yeah, have fun indeed. Have fun indeed. What can I honestly say here? Anyway, that was our boy, Cross. 10 out of 10. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.